Okay, so remember how I said that one of the best ways to analyze literature is through the lens of power? Well, today we're going to do just that. We're going to analyze Russia, and we're going to start with imperialism. So imperialism is a lot like colonialism, except it's not always as geographically contained. Think of it more like a big brother who takes care of little brother. That's kind of what Russia is doing here. For most of Russian history, the czars and czars took great pride in expanding their territory. Peter the Great was obsessed with acquiring warm water ports. Catherine the Great wanted all of the land from the Black Sea to the Pacific. And of course, there's nothing more Russian than endless amounts of land to conquer. So this whole imperial project is presented as a way to fulfill Russian destiny. The idea is that Russia has a special mission to spread its power and glory across the world. But let's think about why a country would want to do that. Well, having lots of land is always good for a budding authoritarian regime because it gives them more space to grow, raise armies, and collect resources. In fact, during the time period known as the Great Game, Russia and Britain competed for control of Central Asia, and this competition manifested itself in a number of military conflicts, as well as a literary rivalry. Think of all those classic novels we read: War and Peace, Anna Karenina, The Death of Ivan Ilyich. They were all written during this time period, and they all explore themes of war and violence in some capacity. Speaking of war, let's talk about militarism, which is closely tied to imperialism. It's the idea that a country should have a strong military and use it to achieve its goals. Again, Russia's endless supply of land is useful here, because it means that they can support a large army without draining their resources. But having an army also allows the government to keep tabs on those pesky revolutionaries, who always seem to be popping up and threatening the authority of the ruling class. After all, what's the one priority of any authoritarian regime? Keeping itself in power? And finally, we have authoritarianism, which is a form of government in which a single person or a small group has complete control over a state. Usually this person or group acquires power through a violent overthrow of the previous government and establishes a new system of government in which the military and the ruling class are tightly intertwined. Sound familiar? Well, if you thought of another country, you'd be right on the money. But this was also true of Russia after the Bolshevik Revolution. The new communist government was led by a small group of elite party members who held all the real power. The rest of the population had very little political power and were subject to the whims of the authoritarian state. That's the long and short of it. If you want to learn more about Russian history, stay tuned.